It was a lot easier actually for me to write like through the eyes of like a female character. I wrote another book before Violet Star called Blackjack, and the main character was actually more closer to myself. It was kind of hard for me to write through his point of view because I feel like I was too close to him. Maybe I felt too vulnerable to put too much of myself into that character. And I feel like with Violet Star, like I was able to not worry about revealing myself too much. So I was able just to look through Carmela's point of view, my main character, and just write freely. Anything that she thinks, I just write. I try to put myself in her mindset, and I feel like I'm just free to let her emotions go free. I didn't find it difficult at all to write through a female's point of view.
So going back to young Oliver, when you were 12 years old, 13 years old, when you had your pen or your pencil and you were writing and this passion was really going through you, like, do you remember that moment?
Probably like 8th grade. I would always go home from school, and after I do my homework or whatever, because I'm such a good boy, I would get on the computer and just start writing. And I think I was writing some completely other irrelevant story at the time, but I always loved writing like that. And I think I really wanted to get into screenplay writing, so I would just write up like episodes of like this fantasy show that I was writing back in the day. And I still have that idea, so I might actually write a book about it later on down the road called Element X. It might be a thing later on. I might write it, but we'll see.
We'll see.
But
was it someone that inspired you, or?
It wasn't someone that inspired me. It was the content of what I watched and what I read. I wanted to contribute. I wanted to see my stories be out there for people to read and to watch.
Did anyone instill in you that, hey, you can contribute to the world if you don't agree with that story or whatever the case, or did you already know, like, yeah, I know I can make a change?
A few people who are like, oh, Oliver, that's really good, you're writing, like you got another Stephen King over here. But it was always kind of slightly condescending. I don't know if they were like 100% serious about it. I think I wrote more for me. I always had a story that I wanted to tell, and I just wanted to get it out there.
Exactly, that's what I was gonna ask. Was it a way of release for you? Was it a way of expression for you?
Definitely. I think everyone needs a way to express themselves, and for me it just happens to be writing.
So go ahead and tell the audience members, like, where you were born and raised, the elementary school, the middle school, the high school, and the college you went to, because I really would love that people could see, hey, this person went to this same school, same neighborhood, whatever the case, and they're doing it. And, I just really want to showcase that. So you can go and tell them, because I won't know where it's at.
Well, audience members, I started off at Kyrene Kalina for elementary school. And then I went directly to Centennial Middle School, which is like literally 20 feet away from the elementary school. I didn't really take any direct writing classes there, but I went straight to Mountain Point High School, which is like a mile away from there. And then that's when I started getting into English. I started taking it really seriously, doing the honors classes as much as I could, creative writing classes there. A couple of amazing teachers. Miss Patty Duncan, you're awesome. After high school, I went straight to ASU. 2008, 2009, and I started majoring in creative writing. Eventually, I changed my major to English literature to graduate a little bit faster, but I still took creative writing classes the whole way through just to get that experience.
I'm curious as to, when I think of writers, right, a lot of times it's a struggle, becoming a writer and actually like living that dream. And so a lot of people put that on the back burner until they realize I went corporate or I just did my 9 to 5, but I really always wanted to be a writer, but I, in the media or what I see from other people, that it just doesn't happen. And so I'm curious as to like, what kept you pushing? Like, was there ever an obstacle of people saying like, yeah, writers don't make any money? Like, what makes you think your book's going to get published out of all? What makes you think that your story is going to be important to anybody else or whatever? I just want to hear about the struggle part, because it's like, again, we're the same age. I didn't think I'd be like interviewing writers until maybe I was like 35 or something like that. So to know that someone actually went through with it and is a young writer and is actually following their dream.